Okay, with question 39 now, we will first expand this single bracket. So I can see 5 outside the bracket, so I'll put the 5 here, and then the 1 plus 3g I'll put at the top here. So remember, what this means is 5 multiplied by everything inside the bracket. So first we're going to do 5 times 1, which is 5, and then we're going to do 5 times the 3g. So 5 times 3g, I can write it like this, 5 times 3g, which is the same as saying 5 times 3 times g, which is just 15g. So the 15g will go there, and it's positive, so it's a plus. And then for the second bracket now, to expand that, because I can see the 3 outside the bracket, I'm going to put the 3 on the left there, and then this 3 and minus 4g will come on the top. So now inside this first box, I'm going to do 3 times 3, which is 9, and then we're going to do 3 times minus 4g. So if I write it here, 3 times minus 4g, which is the same as saying 3 times minus 4 times g. So 3 times minus 4 is minus 12, and then we're going to just times the g, so it will be minus 12g. Now because the add sign here, we want to add whatever we have in the boxes. So here we had 5 plus 15g, and here we've got 9 minus 12g, and because it's a plus sign, I want to put a plus here because we're adding the two parts. So 5 add 9, collecting the like terms, so these are the only number terms. So 5 and 9 is 14, and then plus 15g take away 12g means, or 15 lots of g take away 12 lots of g is just 3 lots of g. So the final answer will be 14 plus 3g. So this here is the final answer. So question 40 now. So if we expand the first single bracket, because I can see 3 on the outside of the bracket, I'll put the 3 on the left here, and then I can see 2 plus 5t inside the bracket, so 2 plus 5t will come on top there. So 3 times 2 is 6, and then if we do 3 times plus 5t, which is the same as saying 3 times 5t, which is the same as saying 3 times 5 times t, which is the same as saying 15, because 3 times 5 is 15, and then times t. So we've got plus 15t. Now to expand the second bracket, because I can see 4 outside the bracket, the 4 comes to the left, and then the 1 minus t will be on the top. So 1 minus t. So first we do 4 times 1, which is just 4, and then 4 times minus t is just minus 4t. Now, so for the first expansion, we got 6 plus 15t, and when we expanded the second single bracket, we got 4 minus 4t, and between them we've got positive sign, so just put a plus here. So now if you collect the like terms, so these are the only number terms, so 6 add 4 is 10, and plus 15t minus 4t gives us 11t. 15 lots of t, take away 4 lots of t is 11t, so plus 11t. So this is the final answer for our question. So remember, 15t minus 4t gives us 11t, to give us a final answer of 10 plus 11t. Question 41. So first we'll expand this bracket. So because I can see 4 outside the bracket, I'm going to write 4 on the left there, and then on the top I'm going to put down what's inside the bracket, which is 3 plus 3w. So now 4 times 3 is just 12, so write that here, and 4 times plus 3w, well, that's the same as saying 4 times 3w, 4 times 3 times w. So what's 4 times 3? 4 times 3 is 12, and then we have to do the times w, and it's positive, so write plus 12w there. So this just comes there. Then to expand the second bracket, because I can see 2 outside the bracket, the 2 will come to the left here, and then I can see 5 minus 4w, so that will go on the top, 5 minus 4w. So here 2 times 5 is just 10, and then we have to do 2 times minus 4w. So we have to do 2 times minus 4w, which is the same as saying 2 times minus 4 times w, which is the same as saying, well, 2 times minus 4 is minus 8, and then times w, so it will be just minus 8w. So when we expanded the first bracket, we've got 12 plus 12w, and now the second bracket we get 10 minus 8w, and because of the plus sign we'll put plus here. So 12 add 10, these are like terms, so 12 add 10 is 22, and then 12w minus 8w just gives us positive 4w, so plus 4w. So 12w take away 8w just gives us 4w. So this here is the final answer, 22 plus 4w. So question 42 now, and this time we have to be a bit more careful because we now have a minus, it's not plus anymore. So as before, we will expand the 2 brackets that we can see separately because there's a minus sign there. If it was a times sign, we'll learn about that later on, but for time being these are 2 single brackets that I want to expand separately. So because I can see a 4 on the outside of the bracket there, the 4 will come to the left here, and then the 3 plus 2h will just go on the top. So in this box 4 times 3 is just 12, and then in the second box it's going to be the same as saying 4 times 2h, which is the same as saying 4 times 2 times h. So 4 times 2 is 8, and just times the h. So in this bracket it will be 8h, and because the answer is positive it will be plus 8h. Now for the second bracket I can see 2 outside the bracket, so the 2 comes here, and the 5 plus 3h, which is inside the bracket, just comes on the top here, 5 plus 3h. So 2 times 5 is just 10, and then we'll do 2 times plus 3h. So if we look at this a bit more closely, we're going to do 2 times 3h, which is the same as saying 2 times 3 times h, which is the same as saying, well, 2 times 3 is 6, and then times h would just be 6h, and because it's positive it will be plus 6h. So when we expanded the first bracket, we got 12 plus 8h, and then for the second bracket we got 10 plus 6h. Now remember, this time the sign is minus, so it's negative. Now this is where it can get a bit tricky. Okay, we have to take away all of this from this. So sometimes it's easier to see this inside a bracket and multiplying all of it's as if we're multiplying all of this by -1. So this bit here will stay the same, 12 plus 8h, and then here, well, -1 times 10 is just -10, and then -1 times 6h is -6h. So now we can say, well, just 12 take away 10 is 2, and 8h take away 6h is positive 2h, so just plus 2h, and that's the final answer. 2 plus 2h. Another way to look at it is we're doing this 12 take away 10, which is 2, and then we're doing 8h take away 6h, which is just 2h, and it's positive, and that still gives us the answer of 2 plus 2h. Now this probably is something that you need to practice a bit more. There's another way we could have done this question. Okay, 4 times 3, because of the 4 we're going to put the 4 outside here, and the 3 and the plus 2h will go on the top. So the first bracket we just do it as normal. So as we've already said, 4 times 3 is 12, and 4 times 2h is 8h, and it's positive, so we're going to just write plus 8h. So this first bit is exactly the same as before, but this time what we're going to do is we're going to say -2 is outside the bracket. So we're going to put the -2 here, and then the 5 and the plus 3h will go on the top. So -2 times 5 is -10, and -2 times plus 3h, well, I'll do a bit of side working here. It's the same as saying -2 times 3 times h, which is the same as saying -6h. So write that here. So now we've got our 4 terms in these 4 rectangles. So in the top one we had 12 plus 8h, and the second one we've got -10 here, -6h. So remember, this 12 comes from here, this plus 8h comes from here, this -10 is here, and -6h is here. So now we can collect like terms. 12 minus 10 is 2, and plus 8h minus 6h gives us positive 2h plus 2h. Now for these questions, this might be the easiest way to do it. This would be my preferred method for doing this.